Hey everybody, this is Perch. It's time for another letter. This one in the series that I like to call "All of Perch's Viewers Are Idiots." So, sorry, folks. Let's read this mail, and this is going to be a video filled with some nuance and some detail. So, fair warning. Let's do it. Dear Perch, I have been a listener to your show for 5 years, but I'm about to hang it up. Here's why. Whenever I go to your comment section, I see the largest collection of morons and a-holes than I've ever seen in my life. Truly, you have the worst comment section. You recently posted a picture of Reed Richards calling Sue an idiot, female. Sorry, calling her an idiot. I think the thing said, "You're not an idiot, you're a female." I think that's what the panel was. It was a panel from the 1960s. It was Stanley and Kirby. Reed and Sue banter. Anyway, back to the mail. Calling Sue an idiot female. And the majority of the people who commented were cheering it on and saying that's what they wish the MCU and comics could return to. It's depressing to know I'm listening to a channel that is also being listened to by a bunch of misogynist and, based on other comments, racist subhumans who who do not have the IQ to compete in the Special Olympics. Wow, damn. Why don't you just say they don't have the IQ to edit as well as Tom Brevoort? Why don't you just go there? By the way, Jordan White's still a better editor, Tom. Still better. Just laying that out there. And RB still sucks. See how we can do callbacks to previous videos? We can do it. Parakeet. Anyway, you know what? The rest of this mail just goes on in this fashion, and you got the point. So let me break kayfabe a little bit for you all and talk kind of how I view the channel and other things. So let me say something off the start. If it bothers you to listen to my channel for whatever reason, you should stop. I know. It sounds like Kelly Sue DeConnick and the don't like my politics, but seriously, why are you wasting your time with this? I don't appreciate emails that say, my viewers are all idiots. When you can just stop. Don't threaten. Literally, I mean, like, this is the classic. It's not an airport. You don't have to announce your departure. Just go. But also, it's hard for me to fully stand behind you and say, yeah, these people are all idiots when you're the idiot who is reading the comments. I mean, how many times do you have to read the comments before you go well, these people don't represent me? Stop reading the comments. Do you think that every single comment that gets made on my video is blessed and agreed upon by me? Have you seen some of the responses I give to those comments? That I do the video. Other people say what they're going to say. I don't have control over that. I don't want control over that. I don't go in and delete things. YouTube swallows up the weirdest collection of stuff I do not understand. But anyway, I've got the moderation filters down to as low as they will get in the hopes that they will snag the obvious spam, Russian bots, prostitute posting, kind of all that stuff. That's why they're there. When I turn that off, this thing becomes all about Russian bot prostitutes. So, that's the only reason it's there. But anyway, don't watch. But also have some self-control. You can watch the video. You can not read the comments. It's actually really easy to do. I find it frustrating to read the comments. When I listen to other people's videos, I don't, it's harder for me to read the comments. Like, if the video would just play and then it would do voice transcription and just play all the comments, I would listen to those, but I don't listen to it. So you don't have to either. You don't have to read it. But let me just state something that I think is obvious here. I don't think a lot of the people who are writing in the comments are being genuine or authentic. Now, maybe that's a big cope, but when I post that, a scene of Reed being a douche to Sue from the 60s, and somebody's like, that's the Reed I want, I think the person doing that's doing it for attention. Now, keep in mind, 1 out of 100, sure, they really would like to return to that era, maybe. But the vast majority of the people are looking for attention and reaction. They're just making a joke. And I say this from the same, I have the same vantage point. By the way, this comment that I'm about to make got me roasted and continues to get me roasted on Reddit. This is the biggest reason why people think the Perch show is racist, is what I'm about to say. My comment was this: way back when Sam Wilson became Captain America, and there's this like, how, look at all the racists on Twitter complaining about a black man being Captain America. I wrote, I don't think those people are being serious. I think they're looking for attention. I don't think the vast majority of people care, but this is bait. It's an easy way for people to get attention. And I believe that. I believe it right now. I believe it today. I do not, hardcore do not believe that all those comments are genuine. I believe the vast majority are not genuine. Why do people post seemingly racist stuff or misogynistic stuff or whatever it happens to be on Twitter? Because it gets attention and engagement. And that's a game for a lot of people. And you want like you want another secret? A lot of people on YouTube who are posting they've gone woke, women bad, men good. They're also, they do not believe what they say. A lot of them. Maybe they like being lolcows. Maybe they like the engagement attention. Maybe that's just a persona they've crafted for themselves because they're not inventive enough to come up with something genuine. Maybe because it's easy bait. I don't know. But they don't. I met a very prominent YouTuber who's neck deep in the culture war. Yes, you would recognize the name. Yes, he's one of the people that Zach has called out as a birthday party clown. I met that guy several months ago. He was with his wife. No, it's not a former comic artist. He was with his wife. And in back in the day, I don't know if this is a term that is used today, but it was used in the 90s. And the term is pussy whipped. That's how I describe this guy. He absolutely was. And by the way, more power to him. He's look, if it's good, you go with what makes you happy. But my point is, on YouTube, behind the microphone, behind the camera, it's all alpha male empowerment. Not in front of the camera. It's a carrying his wife's purse. Again, hey, look, I don't carry around my wife's purse, but frankly, my wife hates purses and will just rarely has one because she like dragging stuff around. Doesn't ask me to carry it. But if her arms were really full and she's like, "Hey, would you hold this for a minute while I rearrange my bags?" I would hold it, and I wouldn't feel gay doing it because I'm holding the bag. I don't give a shit. If that's your litmus test for what makes somebody gay, all right, that's your call. But regardless, this guy was as submissive as can be, and it struck me as, what? Okay, so why then? Why play this character? And the answer is because he's got 1 million subs. That's why. And that's the act. It's acting. I don't know what, Jennifer Lawrence, Arnold Schwarzenegger, Sylvester Stallone, Chuck Norris. I don't know what these guys are like at home, but my suspicion is they're not exactly like their characters they portray on TV and in the movies. Just like, we've heard recently, Donald Trump in front of the camera is a certain way. Donald Trump behind the camera is a different Donald Trump. It's people act. It's not a sin. It just is what it is. So I think, I guess I just take all this stuff with a grain of salt, right? The people who are commenting, and I mean, for those people on Reddit or everywhere else that likes to talk about, my toxic audience or even you, the person who wrote the letter, look, believe what you're gonna believe, but keep in mind, it's kind of fun to just joke around. And once upon a time, we were told that, you can't, you could joke around, but don't do it if you're going to hurt somebody. So a lot of people went online and they started joking around online. And yes, I understand cyberbullying is a thing and all the rest, but like, if you're now at the level where you're wanting to police what somebody is saying in a YouTube comment, I don't know if this is what's actually in their heart or if they're making a joke or if they're playing a character or if they're being goofy or who knows. And quite frankly, I don't really care. All I know is when I go out into the real world and I go to a restaurant and I go to the mall and I go to Target or I go to do a job or I get on a plane, I don't see the people in my comments or the people who are on YouTube shouting about, you know, eh, women shouldn't be in comics because they can't write. I don't see those people in real life. Is that what's going on in their head? Maybe. But all I know is when it comes time to, like, show your boarding pass to the flight attendant, the person who's working the gate, they're like, "Here you are, ma'am. Here you go." They're submissive. They're just trying to get on the plane and go home. I don't even know if submissive is the right word, but that's what they're doing. You don't see a bunch of people going around going, "Is a lady chick flying the plane? Because if it's flying the plane, I demand to be on another plane." I fly a lot. I'm a multi-million flyer, meaning not dollars, although it probably has been dollars, but millions of miles. Not once on a plane ever have I heard somebody say that they want to get off the plane if they find out that it's a lady pilot. I haven't had anybody throw a fit in first class or anywhere on the plane because there's a dude who is serving drinks. I haven't had somebody, and I've been on some plane with some drunk ass people. I've never had somebody lean over and smack a woman on the ass and say, "Give me a vodka toots." I've never had that in a plane, and I've flown a lot. Nor have I seen that in a restaurant. I'm, you know, I haven't gone to Target and had guys just kind of stand by the bra aisle and go, "Hey, baby, drop that bag and put this, let's see your tits and put this bra on." I've never had that. I've definitely been in some bars. I've been, out on vacation on beaches where people have been too drunk and have started to kind of shout and make noise. But in daily life, the kind of stuff that you think may be going on is not going on. Again, maybe it's all going on in somebody's head, but then that just tells me that these people have the self-control to live their entire life without saying this stuff out loud. I am not saying there's no such thing as a racist. Obviously there are. But people aren't walking around in real life like it's YouTube. My answer to you is if this bothers you, don't listen to the show anymore, don't listen to the show anymore. Otherwise, quite respectfully, touch grass. It'll be fine. Thanks for listening.